The Stoics understood something most men still don't. True power isn't about force, wealth, or status. It's about presence. It's about being the kind of man who draws people in without even trying. The kind of man women notice, respect, and can't ignore. What makes a man magnetic? What makes a woman's eyes linger a little longer? It's not just looks, it's traits, behaviors, and a presence that signals confidence, strength, and intelligence. If you want to know what really makes a man irresistible, watch until the end. Because once you understand these 7 traits, you'll never go unnoticed again. And if you're serious about becoming the best version of yourself, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Let's dive in. Chapter 1: Authenticity. There's nothing more magnetic than a man who is completely comfortable in his own skin. A man who doesn't need approval, who doesn't shapeshift to fit in, who speaks and acts in a way that's genuine, unfiltered, and real. He doesn't put on a mask to impress others, nor does he dilute his personality to be more acceptable. Instead, he walks through life with a sense of unwavering self-acceptance, and that alone makes him unforgettable. Think about it. How many people do you meet who are truly authentic? Most are trying to impress, trying to fit a mold, trying to be what they think others want them to be. They overanalyze their words, modify their behavior to align with social expectations, and suppress parts of themselves they fear might be judged. Women see through this instantly. They can sense when a man is putting on an act, and it's an immediate turn-off. There's nothing attractive about someone who lacks the courage to be themselves. An authentic man doesn't chase validation because he already validates himself. He doesn't need external approval to feel worthy. He doesn't say things just to be liked, nor does he pretend to be interested in things he doesn't care about. He speaks his mind, not recklessly, but with confidence and conviction. He doesn't tiptoe around conversations, afraid to ruffle feathers. Instead, he owns his words, embraces his opinions, and isn't afraid to stand by his beliefs. This kind of confidence isn't arrogance, it's a quiet assurance that speaks volumes. That level of authenticity is rare. And because it's rare, it's powerful. People are drawn to those who radiate self-assurance. When a man is unapologetically himself, he becomes magnetic. He doesn't have to try too hard. He doesn't have to rely on cheap tricks or social strategies to gain attention. His presence alone commands respect. Women find this irresistibly attractive because it represents strength, maturity, and emotional security. A woman doesn't need a perfect man. She needs a real man. A man who owns his flaws, who laughs at his mistakes, who isn't afraid to show who he really is. A man who is willing to be vulnerable without feeling weak. Authenticity means embracing imperfections rather than hiding them. It means recognizing that confidence isn't about pretending to be flawless, but about accepting oneself fully, flaws and all. Women remember the man who made them feel something real. The man who wasn't trying too hard, who wasn't performing for attention, who wasn't wearing a social mask. In a world full of men trying to impress, trying to conform, trying to be what they think women want, he stands out by simply being himself. There's a quiet power in that. Authenticity isn't just about how a man presents himself to women, it's about how he lives his life. A truly authentic man doesn't change depending on his audience. He carries the same energy into every aspect of his life, whether he's at work, with friends, or alone. He doesn't seek out validation from others because he already possesses self-respect. And that's the key. When a man respects himself, others follow suit. One of the most attractive things a man can do is live life on his terms. He doesn't mold himself to fit into social trends or adopt interests just to seem more appealing. He has passions, goals, and values that are true to him, and he pursues them regardless of what anyone thinks. He enjoys his hobbies because they fulfill him, not because they make him look interesting. He speaks his truth even when it's unpopular. He follows his own path, knowing that authenticity is the only road to true happiness. Men who lack authenticity tend to struggle in relationships. They become people pleasers, constantly shifting to accommodate others, afraid to show their true selves. This backfires because no one can truly connect with a facade. Women don't fall for perfect, polished performances, they fall for the real, unfiltered, human experience. The moment a man stops trying to be what he thinks others want and simply embraces who he is, his interactions become effortless. He doesn't need to play games or follow scripts. He just shows up as himself, and that is enough. Authenticity also cultivates deep, meaningful relationships. When a man is true to himself, he naturally attracts people who genuinely appreciate him. He doesn't waste time with those who don't align with his values. He builds relationships based on mutual understanding rather than forced compatibility. And when it comes to women, this is a game changer. A woman who is drawn to an authentic man isn't interested in surface-level attraction. She's captivated by the realness, the depth, the substance. So, what does it take to be authentically you? It requires self-awareness, knowing who you are, what you stand for, and what you want out of life. It requires courage, the willingness to be yourself even when it's uncomfortable. It requires self-acceptance, embracing every part of yourself, including the parts that society might tell you to hide. Most importantly, it requires practice. Authenticity isn't a switch you flip overnight. It's a journey of peeling back layers, removing masks, and standing tall in your truth. If you want to be the kind of man who leaves a lasting impression, forget about being impressive. Be real. Speak your truth. Stand by your values. Embrace your flaws. Show up in the world as your unfiltered, unapologetic self. The men who do this don't just attract women, they attract respect, admiration, and a life that feels genuinely fulfilling. And that is the true power of authenticity. Chapter 2. Humor. If you can make a woman laugh, you can make her fall for you. It's that simple. Why? Because humor isn't just about telling jokes, it's about creating a feeling. Laughter is one of the most powerful psychological triggers of attraction. It breaks barriers, dissolves tension, and forms an instant bond. When a woman laughs around you, it means she's comfortable, engaged, and enjoying your presence. And that's what truly matters. Think about it. When was the last time you spent time with someone who made you laugh effortlessly? Didn't it make you want to be around them more? Didn't it make their presence addictive? That's because humor is more than entertainment. It's emotional chemistry. It makes moments unforgettable. It makes conversations flow effortlessly. And it makes you impossible to ignore. But here's the thing, forced humor never works. Trying too hard to be funny is the fastest way to kill attraction. Why? Because it reeks of insecurity. It feels unnatural. It's like watching someone on stage bomb a joke. They're desperate for approval, and that desperation makes people uncomfortable. The moment she senses you're trying to impress her, the magic is gone. Real humor is effortless. It's not about memorizing jokes. It's not about performing like a comedian. It's about being present in the moment. It's about understanding the flow of conversation and playing with it naturally. It's about reading her reactions and adjusting your energy accordingly. And most importantly, it's about playful confidence. A man with a great sense of humor knows how to tease her in a way that makes her grin, not cringe. He knows how to be witty without being cruel. He knows how to laugh at himself without looking insecure. That's the balance. Because humor isn't just about what you say, It's about how you say it. A smirk at the right moment. A well-timed pause before delivering a punchline. A knowing glance when something funny happens. These subtle cues are what make humor attractive. It's not just the words, it's the delivery. And here's what most men don't realize: humor is a sign of intelligence. A sharp wit shows quick thinking, creativity, and social awareness. It tells her you understand social dynamics. It tells her you're confident enough to play with words and ideas without fear. And most importantly, it tells her you don't take life too seriously. Because life is stressful. Everyone carries burdens. Everyone deals with challenges. And a man who can bring lightness into her life, that's a man she wants to be around. Women aren't drawn to humor just because it's fun. They're drawn to it because it makes them feel good. It's a moment of relief. A moment of connection. A moment where they can let go of everything and just enjoy. That's why humor is so powerful. It's not just about entertainment, it's about emotion. And here's another thing: humor builds sexual tension. Think about the way flirtation works. It's playful. It's teasing. It's a little push and pull. When you make her laugh, you're creating an emotional high. She's feeling good. She's in the moment. And the more she enjoys being around you, the more she starts associating that feeling with you. That's why playful teasing works so well. When you challenge her in a fun way, when you joke about something harmless, when you make her laugh while keeping eye contact, you're sparking attraction on a subconscious level. She's not just laughing. She's feeling something. And that's the key. Humor isn't just about making her laugh, it's about making her feel. So how do you develop an attractive sense of humor? First, don't force it. Stop trying to be funny. Stop overthinking it. Stop analyzing what to say next. Just be present. When you're truly in the moment, humor flows naturally. Second, be playful. Life is serious enough. Don't be afraid to joke around, to add some fun to a conversation, to tease her in a way that makes her smile instead of roll her eyes. Third, laugh at yourself. The most charismatic men are the ones who don't take themselves too seriously. They know how to joke about their own flaws without looking insecure. That's the difference: confidence. A man who can make fun of himself while still carrying himself with strength and assurance is unshakably attractive. And last, read the room. Humor isn't about telling jokes randomly. It's about timing. It's about knowing when to be funny and when to be serious. It's about knowing when to push and when to pull back. Because humor, when done right, isn't just attractive, it's addictive. Women don't remember the exact words you said. They remember how you made them feel. And if you can make her laugh, if you can make her feel at ease, if you can create moments of pure, effortless enjoyment, she will remember you. And she will want more of you. Chapter 3: Good Communication and Listening. Most men talk. Few listen. And that's exactly why most men fail with women. Everyone wants to be heard. Everyone wants to feel like what they say matters. But most people are just waiting for their turn to speak. They aren't truly engaged in the conversation. They're thinking about what they'll say next, how they'll impress the other person, or how they can steer the topic back to themselves. And this is why most conversations feel so shallow, so forgettable, so unfulfilling. But when you encounter someone who truly listens, everything changes. The moment you realize that the person in front of you isn't just nodding along but actually absorbing your words. That moment is powerful. And for women, this is incredibly rare. Most men think talking a lot makes them attractive. They think if they can tell the best stories, crack the best jokes, or say the smartest things, women will automatically be drawn to them. But the truth is, women don't just care about what you say, they care about how you make them feel. And nothing makes a woman feel more valued, appreciated, and respected than a man who actually listens. Listening is more than just hearing words. It's about being fully present in the moment. It's about looking her in the eyes, paying attention to the emotions behind her words, and making her feel like, for that moment, nothing else in the world matters except the conversation you're having. When you do this, you become unforgettable. Because here's the truth, women are used to being ignored. They're used to talking to men who interrupt them, who zone out, who pretend to care but are really just waiting for their turn to speak. They're used to having their thoughts dismissed, their opinions brushed aside, their words treated like background noise. So when they meet a man who is truly present, who listens with intent, who makes them feel like their words actually matter, that man is different. That man is magnetic. But communication isn't just about listening, it's also about how you speak. A man who knows how to express himself clearly, confidently, and with purpose will always stand out. He doesn't need to dominate the conversation, he doesn't need to fill every silence with words, and he definitely doesn't need to prove himself with long-winded explanations. Instead, he speaks with intention. Every word has weight. He asks meaningful questions, not just the usual small talk. He avoids generic compliments and instead focuses on genuine observations. He doesn't just say, "You're beautiful." He says, "I love the way you light up when you talk about something you're passionate about." That's how you make an impact. Because real attraction isn't just about physical looks, it's about emotional connection. An emotional connection is built through deep, engaging conversations. A man who communicates well knows when to listen, when to speak, and when to let silence do the talking. He's comfortable with pauses in conversation. He doesn't rush to fill the space. He understands that sometimes the most powerful moments happen in the quiet, the way he holds eye contact, the way he nods subtly, the way he makes her feel understood without needing to say much at all. And here's the real secret: the less you talk, the more powerful your words become. When you don't speak just to fill the air, when you choose your words carefully, when you make every sentence count, people hang on to what you say. They remember your words because your words have meaning. That's why the most magnetic men aren't the ones who talk the most. They're the ones who say the right things at the right time. So if you want to stand out, master the art of conversation. Speak less. Listen more. Be fully present. Ask better questions. And most importantly, make her feel like, in that moment, nothing else matters but what she has to say. When you do that, she won't just notice you. She'll never forget you. Chapter 4: Healthy Optimism. No one wants to be around a man who is constantly negative. Negativity is a weight, it drags you down, it drains the people around you, and it makes everything feel heavier than it really is. And here's the truth: no woman wants to be with a man who makes her life feel heavier. Life is full of challenges, struggles, and setbacks. That's inevitable. The Stoics knew this better than anyone. They didn't try to escape suffering, nor did they ignore it. They embraced it. They saw obstacles as opportunities. They understood that how you respond to hardship determines everything: your success, your relationships, and even how people perceive you. A man who cracks under pressure, who complains about every inconvenience, who always sees the worst in a situation is a man who repels others. He becomes a black hole of energy, sucking the life out of every conversation, every interaction, every moment. And over time, no one, especially not women, wants to be around that. Now, don't confuse healthy optimism with being fake or pretending life is perfect. That's not what we're talking about. Real optimism isn't about ignoring problems, it's about how you face them. A man who radiates true confidence and strength is a man who can say, "This is difficult, but I will handle it. This situation sucks, but I will find a way through it." That mindset? It's magnetic. Women are naturally drawn to men who bring positive energy into their lives. Not because they expect you to fix all their problems, but because your presence should make them feel lighter, not heavier. If being around you feels like an emotional burden, they will instinctively pull away. But if your energy makes them feel safe, strong, and empowered, they'll want to be around you as much as possible. Think about it. When you walk into a room, do you bring energy or do you drain it? Do people feel motivated and alive when they talk to you, or do they leave conversations feeling exhausted? That's the difference between a pessimist and an optimist. A pessimist sees a problem and immediately complains. He talks about how unfair life is, how nothing ever goes his way, how everything is just too difficult. He drags others into his negativity, making every situation worse just by being in it. An optimist? He sees the same problem, but instead of wasting energy complaining, he asks, "What can I do?" He focuses on solutions, not problems. He doesn't deny reality, but he refuses to be defeated by it. And that attitude? It's infectious. People, especially women, want to be around a man who makes them feel like anything is possible. A man who remains calm under pressure, who finds solutions, who can take a bad situation and turn it into something better. That's why Stoic men were so powerful. They didn't let circumstances break them. They didn't let difficulties turn them into bitter, angry, resentful men. They stood firm, they adapted, they found a way forward. And that's exactly what you need to do. You don't have to be happy all the time, that's not the point. Women don't expect a man to be smiling 24/7 or to pretend everything is fine when it's not. But they do expect a man to handle life with strength. A man who, even when things are tough, can still keep his head up. A man who doesn't let temporary setbacks turn into permanent excuses. And here's the best part, optimism isn't just attractive to women, it's a cheat code for life. When you train yourself to see challenges as opportunities to grow, when you focus on what you can control rather than what you can't, you start winning in every area of life. You become more disciplined, more resilient, more successful. And when you become that kind of man, people notice. Your presence alone will make women feel safe because they will subconsciously recognize that you are a man who can handle life, who doesn't fall apart under pressure, who brings stability rather than chaos. And that kind of man is rare. At the end of the day, your mindset is everything. A pessimist lives in fear, always expecting the worst. An optimist lives in action, always looking for the next move. Which one do you think is more attractive? If you want to be magnetic, unforgettable, and deeply attractive to women, then train yourself to be a man who finds solutions instead of dwelling on problems. A man who brings energy instead of draining it. A man who sees possibilities instead of limits. Because when you become that kind of man, women won't just notice you, they'll want to be around you all the time. Chapter 5. Well-spoken and knowledgeable. A man's voice carries more than just words, it carries presence, intelligence, and authority. The way you speak, articulate your thoughts, and express your ideas instantly shapes how people see you. A man who speaks with clarity, confidence, and purpose commands attention the moment he opens his mouth. Most men underestimate the power of their words. They think attraction is about looks, money, or status. But the truth? A man who knows how to hold a conversation, who speaks with intelligence and depth, is far more magnetic than a man who relies on flashy distractions. You don't have to be a genius. You don't need to memorize philosophical texts or debate politics at a professor's level. But you should be informed. You should be curious. A man who is engaged with the world, who has opinions and can back them up, who can discuss topics beyond the surface level, that's the kind of man women notice. Women are drawn to depth. They are drawn to men who think critically, who ask meaningful questions, who bring something valuable to a conversation. If all you can talk about is the latest Netflix series, sports scores, or whatever meme is trending on social media, you will blend into the background. But if you have insight, perspective, and a unique way of seeing the world, you will stand out in ways most men never will. Speaking well isn't just about using big words or sounding intellectual, it's about being clear, confident, and precise. A man who stumbles over his words, who speaks with hesitation, who mumbles or fills every sentence with thud and like instantly loses authority. On the other hand, a man who speaks deliberately, calmly, and with purpose commands respect without even trying. And here's the secret: how you say something is often more important than what you say. A man who speaks with conviction makes even the simplest ideas sound profound. That's why Stoics valued clarity and brevity. They believed a man should say what he means, mean what he says, and leave no room for confusion. But beyond speaking well, you must also have something to say. A man who reads, who learns, who expands his mind is a man who always has something valuable to contribute. When you develop your intellect, you become someone worth listening to. You gain insight that others lack. You see connections that others miss. You aren't just repeating what you heard on the news or parroting someone else's opinions, you are thinking for yourself. And that's powerful. Think about the most captivating men in history. The leaders, the philosophers, the visionaries. They weren't just strong, wealthy, or famous. They were men of wisdom, depth, and intellect. They knew how to command a room with their words, how to engage people with ideas, how to challenge perspectives in a way that drew people in rather than pushing them away. If you want to develop this power, start by feeding your mind. Read books that challenge you. Learn about psychology, history, philosophy, and human nature. Engage in discussions that push you beyond your comfort zone. Pay attention to how great speakers carry themselves, how they structure their words, how they make even complex ideas sound effortless. And then, practice. Speak with confidence, even when you're unsure. Cut out weak language. Stop apologizing for your thoughts. Own your opinions, but be open to new information. Speak with conviction, and the world will listen. A man of depth, knowledge, and articulate speech is rare. And what is rare is valuable. If you want to be magnetic, don't just focus on what you look like or what you own. Develop your mind. Master your words. Sharpen your thoughts. Because when you do, you will never go unnoticed again. Chapter 6: Curiosity and Empathy. Most men think being interesting means having wild stories, impressive achievements, or an endless supply of clever things to say. They think attraction is about standing in the spotlight and dazzling others with their greatness. But the truth? The most magnetic men aren't the ones who talk the most. They're the ones who listen the best. Women are drawn to men who make them feel seen, heard, and understood. And that happens when a man is genuinely curious. Curiosity isn't just asking questions, it's wanting to understand someone on a deeper level. It's about going beyond small talk, beyond surface-level conversations, and making someone feel like they truly matter. When you ask deep, meaningful questions, you do something most men never do: you show engagement. You show that you're present, that you care, that you're not just waiting for your turn to speak. And women notice that. Think about it. Most people go through life feeling invisible. They talk, but no one really listens. They share, but no one really cares. When a man comes along who actually pays attention, who listens with intent, who remembers the little details, he becomes unforgettable. And here's the secret: people love talking about themselves. They crave the feeling of being understood. When you make a woman feel like she can truly express herself around you, without judgment, without interruption, without feeling like she has to impress you, that creates a connection stronger than anything else. Empathy takes curiosity to the next level. It's not just about asking questions, it's about feeling what she feels. It's about recognizing her emotions, reading between the lines, and responding in a way that makes her feel safe, valued, and comfortable. When a man has empathy, he doesn't just hear words, he understands what's behind them. And that's rare. Most men listen to respond, not to understand. They wait for a pause in the conversation just so they can start talking again. But a man with true empathy listens to connect. He doesn't rush to give advice. He doesn't try to fix everything. He simply stays in the moment and lets her be heard. And that's what makes this so powerful. A man who can listen without judgment, without impatience, without distraction is a man who feels different from every other guy she's met. He's not trying to impress her. He's not trying to force attraction. He's simply present. And that presence is more attractive than any scripted line, any flashy display, or any attempts to be interesting. Curiosity and empathy make you magnetic in every area of life, not just with women. People are drawn to those who make them feel understood. When you master this, you become the kind of person everyone wants to be around. Conversations flow effortlessly. People open up to you. They trust you. They remember you. The key? Be genuinely interested in people. Not just to impress them. Not just to get something out of them. But because you actually want to understand them. When you do this, attraction happens naturally. And once you experience that, you'll never go back to empty, surface-level conversations again. Chapter 7. Presence. You know what's more attractive than money, looks, or status? Being fully present in the moment. In a world where distractions are everywhere, where people are constantly divided between screens, thoughts, and obligations, presence is a rare and powerful trait. A man who is truly present has a commanding energy, one that draws people in, makes them feel valued, and leaves a lasting impression. Most men walk through life half aware, half distracted, always somewhere else. They're scrolling their phones, glancing at notifications, letting their thoughts wander to work, responsibilities, or things that haven't even happened yet. They're physically there, but their minds are elsewhere. And women notice this instantly. They sense when a man is preoccupied, unfocused, or mentally absent, and nothing is more frustrating than being with someone who isn't fully engaged. Presence isn't just about putting your phone down. It's about making someone feel like, in that moment, nothing else matters. It's about conveying, through your eyes, your body language, your tone, that you are here, that you are fully invested in the experience of the present moment. A man who can do that is rare. He's unforgettable. And he's magnetic. Think about the most charismatic people you've ever met. What made them stand out? It wasn't just how they looked. It wasn't their status or wealth. It was the way they made you feel. When they spoke to you, they made you feel like you were the only person in the world. They didn't rush. They weren't distracted. They weren't waiting for their turn to talk. They were fully there. Their energy was grounded, steady, and unshakable. Now think about how most men act on a date. They check their phones. Their eyes drift. Their responses feel half-hearted, as if they're only half invested in the conversation. And women feel that. They feel when a man is mentally elsewhere, when his attention is divided. If she feels like you're not really present, she won't want to be there either. Presence isn't just a skill, it's a statement. It tells her, I value this moment with you more than anything else right now. A man with presence has a strong, steady energy. He's engaged. He's unhurried. He doesn't just glance at her, he looks at her with intention. His eye contact is steady, not nervous or fleeting. When he listens, he truly listens, not just to reply, but to understand. He's not afraid of silence because he doesn't need to fill every moment with chatter. He doesn't fidget, doesn't rush to respond, doesn't let his thoughts drift away. He is here, now. And that makes all the difference. Presence is power because it creates an emotional experience. When you're fully present, you make her feel seen, heard, and valued. And that's something most people rarely experience. That's why it's so irresistible. When a woman feels that level of attention, it changes the entire dynamic of the interaction. It makes her feel special, understood, and deeply connected to you. But presence isn't just about dating. It makes you stand out in every area of life. Whether you're in a business meeting, with friends, or just having a casual conversation, people can feel when you're truly there. They notice when you're not just nodding along, but actually engaged. They appreciate when you're fully invested in the discussion, not thinking about what's next or scrolling through distractions. And they remember you for it. The truth is, most men are addicted to distraction. They're constantly looking for stimulation, checking their phones, overthinking, living in their heads. They can't just be. They can't sit with their thoughts. They can't hold steady eye contact. They can't truly focus on one thing at a time. And that's exactly why a man who is calm, composed, and fully engaged is so rare and attractive. Presence is about mastering your focus. It's about training yourself to be here, now. It's about resisting the pull of distractions, shutting out the noise, and committing fully to the moment in front of you. When you're with a woman, be with her. When you're in a conversation, be in it. Don't let your mind wander. Don't let distractions pull you away. Give your full attention, because that's one of the most valuable things you can offer anyone. And this applies beyond personal interactions. Presence is also the key to peak performance. Athletes call it being in the zone. Artists call it flow state. Entrepreneurs call it focus. Whatever the name, the result is the same. When you eliminate distractions and immerse yourself completely in what you're doing, you operate at a higher level. You become more effective, more compelling, and more influential. Presence is a habit. It's a skill that requires practice. Start small. Put your phone away when you're talking to someone. Make eye contact and hold it. Slow down your speech. Take a breath before responding. Observe the details in your surroundings. Train yourself to experience the moment instead of rushing through it. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Because when you do that, you don't just capture her attention, you leave a lasting impression. And that's what makes a man truly magnetic. Presence is a rare commodity in today's world, and those who master it stand out effortlessly. It's not about trying harder, it's about simply being. And that's a power few men ever truly harness. Master these traits, and you'll never be invisible again. Women always notice a man who is authentic, confident, humorous, well-spoken, curious, and fully present. Because that kind of man isn't common. And in a world full of distractions, the rarest things are the most valuable. If this resonated with you, like, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Which of these traits do you think is the most powerful? Let's talk.